putting 2-inch riser extensions on this 2018 Harley-Davidson Breakout. They're made by LA Chopper. I got them from Revzilla. I'll put a link right down there in the description for you. While you're down there, click the subscribe button, join the channel. Now let's get right into this, shall we? Let's start off by taking a few things off this bike. First thing, let's take off this windshield right here. This is a Harley windshield. They come off so nice. A couple clamps and the whole thing's just completely off the bike. Put that in a safe spot. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at this. Now the riser extensions are going to go between here and here. So these are bolted in the bottom. So we're going to unbolt these. We're going to take the handlebars themselves. We're just going to flop them right back in the gas tank here very carefully so we don't scratch anything. I'll get a towel and put it on the gas tank here just to make sure we don't. And once we pull these back, we're going to take a closer look at what's going on the bottom of here. The kit says we need some different bolts, so we might have to run the hardware store, but we got to get this thing taken apart first to see what we're going to need. I finally have a use for this ginormous towel. We're going to cover up a gas tank. So yeah, whatever accessories you have up here, if you want to clean them off, get them out of the way, by all means get them out of the way. It's just less to worry about. Take off my foam mounts. I'll leave this on the bars. Let's take these out and see what they look like. So they did offer these both black and chrome. I decided to go with the chrome since that's what the risers already are. Black probably would have looked cool though too. Could have gone either way. So they're wrapped up pretty good. Just wanted to show a few. Okay. So anyway, it's just a hunk of aluminum. The one side's kind of dished out, the other side's flat. So the flat side goes down and the current risers go in the dished out area, if my understanding is correct. But we'll find out as we go along here. Right, to make things a little bit easier, we're going to take the whole headlight and the bracket itself right off, just to get it out of the way since the nuts are underneath this cross member right here. It'll just be a lot easier. Just going to kind of set him to the side. If we look at the back of this, pull out my brake cable, and then it's just one connector. Now, if you ever wonder what this headlight looks like, here's a nice close-up of it. You can see it just mounts right on the bottom here. It's like a pivot mount so you can adjust it. Now on the bottom of our risers here, we have two nuts. So on the bottom of our risers, here's our two nuts. And on this Breakout here, these are 19 millimeter. So I'm going to start by breaking them both loose. And then we'll take them off. Now just pull that line out right there. Our electrical, we should be able to leave that on there. So we're just going to flop them back. Make sure that they're free. Okay, they're not really in there at all. They just come right out. Now we got our stud, our nut, and a washer. This whole stud here is unscrewing. This one here, just the nut's unscrewing. There we go. So it's a dished washer, and that goes on this side here, and that goes to the body of the bike. Okay, and this side here, the whole stud just came out. Now we're ever so gently pull this up. Let's see. Oh, I just want to be so careful and not scratch anything. So there we go. We'll lay it just kind of like this. Okay. So the stud I just took out, you can see right here, you got the stud, the nut, the washer. You can see which side it's dished on. The bottom of this bracket here, this actually fits in perfectly. So what we're gonna have to do is get bolts that are 2 inches longer than this. So I'll get all that figured out at the hardware store. We're gonna go take a trip there in just a moment. Give you kind of a close-up look at what's going on up here. There's a washer up top as well that just sits right on there. You can see it just kind of right on top of that bushing right there. And then we'll get this stud here pulled out and away we'll go. Before we get to the hardware store, I'm gonna pull up this other stud. I do make fancy stud puller and installation tools and all kinds of fancy stuff. It's got a pair of channel locks right here. You can just grab it and break it loose. These are not on that tight. Now just remember, we are kind of laying up against the bike with these handlebars, so be a little cautious so you're not potentially scratching items. Maybe the worst thing, you know, you get all done with this and you put it all together, so you get a big old gouge in your fuel tank. That would suck. Okay, so here's the stud, we got it out. Now when we get new bolts for this thing, here's our stud, right? Now we're gonna need something that's 2 inches longer because our spacers are 2 inches. Now when we talk 2 inches bigger, we're not talking the length of the stud bigger. We need it from the length of where this nut is longer, because when we put bolts in this, we're replacing this whole thing with bolts. So the bolt head's gonna be right here. So we need 2 inches longer than that. So I'm gonna grab a tape measure. I'm gonna measure that real quick. We have right here, what is that? 2 3/8. So we need bolts that are 4 3/8 long. That's what we're looking for. So I'm guessing we're not going to find a 4 3/8 bolts, but maybe a 4 1/2, a little bit longer, probably be fine on this thing. We can always take it to the grinder, make the bolts a little bit shorter. All right, guys. Next stop, off to the hardware store tomorrow, since it's 10 o'clock at night now. I'm pretty sure most places are closed. So here we go. Guess we got to match this right here up. See this right here? It's 1/2 by 4 1/2 inches. Get the right thread, the right length. So we should be good. Let's go home, put this bike together, and put some miles on it. Okay, so the recess side is going to fit right over here. Now we're going to have to take the washer off that's on here, fit right over the bushing. Just actually fits on there pretty snug. So we'll do that with both of these. So there's that. Yeah, one fit a lot snugger than the other. That's okay. So now this is where you probably want to get a second person, which I don't exactly have. What we're going to do, we're going to take our bolts and our washers. We're going to get the bottom side here ready to go. Then we're going to get one up in there and started. Now this side here wants to stay in place pretty good. So I'm going to take this one out so I don't drop it and mess everything up. We'll get at least one of these started, then get the other one started. Okay, so just a couple of threads in there to get her going. This side here, make sure we got him on the bushing all the way. We do. Get our other bolt, slide them right up through the bottom here, hopefully with ease. There we go. Okay, a couple threads in there. Now you always want to make sure you get a couple threads started so you don't accidentally cross thread it and ruin your stuff, because that would just make for an absolutely horrible experience. So our cables, plenty here, quite a bit over there. Electrical, we got some play. Let's turn the handlebars all the way over and see how our cables look. That gets a little tight over there. I don't know if I like that. Is there something I can do to this cable to loosen it up? It's taking this clutch cable here. I can kind of give it a little bit of a tug and got, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch out of it, which honestly feels just fine. So yeah, another brake cable over here, brake hose. Got all kinds of room over in that guy. Okay. Tight, we're on there. I got the towel. Let's sit on this thing and see how it feels. Oh my God, guys. Yes. Yes. So if you've been asking yourself, how can I get the handlebars up further and you don't want to drop the money on big apes, which they look awesome. But man, they're pricey, you can get the cables and electrical extensions, all that fun stuff with them. They do look awesome, don't get me wrong. But this, what did I say I spent on these? 50 bucks altogether? Yes, that is, oh, that's a game changer right there, dude. This thing is beautiful now. If you guys have a breakout, you know all you see in the mirror is your arm. That's still about all I see. Stay tuned, because this next video, we're taking these mirrors, we're going to put ththose things on the bottom here. And again, I'll give you some feedback and report on how that works down here. Hit that subscribe button down below. Throw the flashing lights of the bike. Stay safe out there, guys.